Welcome back to Every Chess YouTube channel. In today's class, we'll be learning how to create these beautiful loops that you see on back of dresses. It can be on a corset dress or a bustier dress. It's very simple to make and it's really beautiful. If this is something you like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. So for this tutorial, I have my back bodice drafted already. We're going to work on only the back. So the first thing I'm going to do now is to remove the yoke by determining your neckline. So I want my neckline to be around 9 inches. So I'm marking 9 inches like this, and then I'm just going to take my curved ruler and connect it to the armhole. Okay, so that's the first thing I need to do, which means I don't need the upper part any longer. So I'm just going to work on this lower part. So I'll take my scissors and cut just this space that I need. So I've cut it out now, so I'm just going to remove it and then set this aside. So we're going to be adding loops to this, which means I'm not going to be working with this zipper allowance. So now I'm going to cut off the zipper allowance as well because I don't need it. Now this is what my bodice looks like. Okay, so I've removed the zipper allowance. The next thing I'm going to do now is to close my dart. So now you can actually cut it into two if you want, but I just want it as a single piece. That's why I'm going to close the dart. So if you want them as two separate pieces, you just cut out your dart. So now this is my dart, and I'm going to close it up and hold it with a masking tape. So this is what my back look like now. So to create my loop, I'm going to create that V shape. Remember, the loop is going to be around here. So that space that you need to make the loop, I'm going to create it. So on the upper part here, I'm going to measure 1.5 inches, and on the waistline here, I'm going to measure 1 inch so that I can give you that slightly V shape effect. If you want it really V, you can measure 3/4 of an inch. So there, I'm going to connect them together like this. So my loop measuring 1.5 inches here means that by the time I open it out, it's going to be 3 inches. So I have a space of 3 inches between the two of them on the upper part, and then on the waistline I'm going to have a space of 2 inches. Remember, we used just 1 inch. So now I'm going to cut this off, and then I'll go straight to cut this out on my fabric. So now I've chopped this off. I'm just going to cut this on my fabric. I'll cut two of this for each side. So I've cut it out on my fabric, as you can see. So you can notch this upper part because it looks very similar to indicate the hop, and then you notch this side also to know the side that you're adding your loops to. Okay, so now I can remove it. I have two main fabric and two lining. So when you open it out, this is what it looks like. Okay, so now I have created my loop. I'm using this as my loop. It's a bias, so I just folded it and sew on it. Remember, this is what a regular bias looks like. So you just fold this because you need something really strong because of the pulling that is going to go on there. So I just folded it and then I sew on it to form this. So now I'm going to cut out a rope of 3 inches. Okay, or you can use 2.5 as well, but I use 3 inches. I'm just going to place my tape now and then cut out 3 inches. I'll cut as many as I need. So once you have them like this, you start placing it. So you need to determine the spaces that you have between each of them. Okay, so now you leave 1/2 inch for turning before you start placing. So this is the first one. I'm just going to place it like this. Okay, 1/2 inch interval. Then where the first one stop, I'm going to place the next one. So you can do it like this, or you can just leave, after placing your first one, you can leave like 1/2 inch gap, and then you place the second one like that. Whichever one you want to work with is fine. So I'll go back to the sewing machine now and then create my loops. So when I create the first one, I'll make sure that I try to mirror what I have here. It has to be on the exact same spot. So when I create the first one, I'm going to use it to create the second one as well, so that I have the same thing on both sides. I'll create this now and bring it back to show you. So I've gone ahead to add my loops, and you can see what they look like now. Like I said, it can be this close, or you just have spaces in between them. So the next thing you need to do now is to lay your lining on top of your main bodies like this, right side facing right side. Then I'm going to go ahead and sew. Okay, so I'm trying to look for the one that corresponds with each other. So that's why I said you need to notch it. Okay, so you can see my notch. So this goes with this and this goes with this. So now I'll just sew it all around, leave a little space to turn it out, and then I'll give it a good press. Okay, so I've gone ahead to sew it now, and then I just turned it from the lower part. Okay, because you're still going to add this to the rest of your dress. You can also turn it if it's going to be a blouse. So if it's a blouse, you can turn it completely. So this is what it looks like now. So I have this Ankara rope that I made, and that's what I'm going to be using to lace this loop. So now you're just going to insert it now, and then lace up your loop. So I'll do this and bring it back to show us as well. Okay, so this is what it looks like after lacing it up. You can see the inside. This is the inside, and this is what it looks like on the outer part. You can see how simple it is to make this. I hope you enjoyed making this beautiful tutorial with me. If you enjoyed it, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.